What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. You're joining me and Nath tonight for an evening session on the River Ribble, and we're going to be solely targeting River Barbel. And if it sounds like we're out of breath, it's because we are. We've already walked about 1.5 miles because we're fishing quite a way down the river tonight, aren't we, mate?
We are, mate.
We're going to try a swim near Mellings Wood that we hear is reasonably good for barbel, so we're going to give it a bash. We might try a couple of swims.
Yeah,
depends how we get on. So how are you going to be fishing at Nath?
I think pretty much the same as you, mate. So
yeah.
I've got a run-in feeder rig. It's about 1.5 to 2 foot hook length. I think I've got a size 8 hook on there.
Yeah,
barb.
Cool. So I'm going to be using spicy pepper army, and I'm actually going to wrap that in a liver paste. So I'm I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
And I've also tied up 2 hook lengths. I've got one that's about 2.5 foot and one that's about 3 foot. So I'll see which one does better.
Yeah.
Have a play about with it. I might even shorten it a bit more than that, we'll see. Like I said, we'll try a couple of swims and hopefully get a fish on the bank. I've got a night light for filming in the evening, so hopefully if we get anything into dark, I'll be able to film it still.
Brilliant. Right,
folks, I'm going to stop talking before I collapse, and I'll go through some of the rigs and baits when we get to the swim. Well, there's actually a family in the swim that we come down to fish, so we're going to keep trotting down, see if we can find another swim that we fancy, and we might track back and try a few places on the way back later on. I mean, it is a Saturday, so yeah, it's bound to be busy. We knew it was going to be busy, but you can always get on somewhere, can't you?
Yeah. Big old river.
It is a big river, and the free stretch goes on for miles, so there's always somewhere to fish, folks. The only thing about wearing waders, folks, is that when you start to sweat, it's just a nightmare, isn't it? Because especially when you start to dry off later on, yeah, and the wind's blowing on you, you start getting really cold. Because you just traps, you just get absolutely drenched. Well, folks, as usual with river fishing, it's not quite going to plan. So we've walked all the way down to Mellings Wood, right in there, and there's just somebody in every single peg. Mostly families with kids, so I don't think they'll be there all evening, but I think we're going to go back to the farm stretch and just have a couple of chucks there, so at least that we're fishing. Yeah. Tell you what, folks, I'm looking forward to just getting to a swim and just having 5 minutes to chill out, get the rods out. Woo! One hell of a walk with probably about 25 kg of gear, probably more. In chest waders as well. Chest waders make it 10 times harder. Gotta love it, ain't you? Don't want no trouble, girls. Don't want no trouble. Just want to find a swim. I think we've settled on a swim across from these trees here, overhanging bushes and stuff. It's moving slightly quicker through the middle. I don't think it's mega shallow, but we're going to be able to wade out here and get our feeder rods set up and potentially spread out a touch. Well, as you know, folks, I hide absolutely nothing on this channel, and literally in my bag one of these eyelets has come out. It's going to be fixable, it just needs a drop of some kind of bonding agent in there and it'll just hold that in. But one of the eyelets has come out of the quiver section on this 4-ounce tip, so I'm going to have to put my 5-ounce on. Luckily I've got another tip with me, so I'll put the 5-ounce on and get this re-rigged up. But it's a good job I noticed that. It was just sat out in a bag like that. It's not broken, it's like the glue's just come loose or something. That's the third one of these Grace Prodigy PB barbel rods where the tips are broke. I had one replaced, one I've got broken at home, it just completely shattered, and yeah, this one now. And these aren't cheap rods, these were about 200 quid, I think they were about 170 quid each, they're not cheap at all. Let's have a look at the ship mix, there we go. Cracking. So there's 10mm and 12mm boilies, there's absolutely everything in there. Still slightly defrosting, but it'll break up. but bits of absolutely everything. There's not many boilies in, but there's lumps of meat, there's corn, everything. I've got some live maggots for us to tip in this mix as well, which are now casters.
Next year.
But let's get them in as well. Obviously it'll just bring absolutely anything in. Some good stuff in there. It's quality bait that as well. It's not cheap stuff, it's just frozen. So I've just rigged my rod back up after that little hiccup. I've got some liver paste there, which is what I'm going to wrap around the pepperami just to prolong the scent a little bit more. I mean, pepperami is quite a durable hook bait anyway, which is why I've chosen it. There we go, spicy pepperami. I've got plenty in there in case Nath wants to try a bit of pepperami, but these are what I've given Nathan to try. I've put two sizes in here for him. I've put some mini and some midi Hinders Barbel bomb ready-made dumbbells. You have to let us know in the comments if anybody's ever caught on these. I've got a few of these on my website if people wanted to try them out as well. So a little bit of a plug there. There's only a handful on the website, there's not many, so if you do want to try them, there is a few on there if you wanted to pick some up, as well as some Westies baits.
Cheers, bro.
You have to see how you get on with them, Nath. So I've got two rigs tied up with quick stops, one slightly more heavy duty and one smaller. So this is a size 8 Corum all-rounder with a micro barb, and that's a size 4 Corum all-rounder with a micro barb. I've got a little bit of a tail rubber at the end there just to kick it away from the feeder. I'll show you the feeder end in a minute. And I've just got quick stops there to make putting bait on really easy. Fairly long hair. I'm going to be fishing probably I don't know, 3/4 of an inch piece of pepperami on there. Bigger piece on the bigger hook, obviously. Smaller piece on the smaller hook. So that's the plan. So solely I'm going to be using that. And like I said, I'm going to wrap it in a bit of paste just to really boost that attraction. So I've got them ready. Let me show you the feeder rig. It's dead simple, folks, honestly. Anybody can do this. Just a simple running feeder up and down the line. Then I've got that going to a running rig rubber, which is there. I think you call them tulip beads as well, these ones. So let's put our big one out first, a bit further downstream, because this one I'm just going to cast out and I'm going to leave a bit longer, and then I'll keep introducing bait with the shorter line. So if you can imagine, I'm going to have one downstream there, and I'm going to keep recasting the left hand one, and that's going to wash bait down river and hopefully bring a big barbel in. That tail rubber over the quick change swivel there. Tangle free, very simple rig, don't need to be complicated. 2 foot hook length, and the other one's slightly longer. So mixing it up a bit there. You can use a longer hook length and you can use a shorter hook length. You've just got to play about with it. It depends on the day, it depends on the river, and it depends on the conditions. There's no real right or wrong answer to how long your hook length should be when you're fishing on the river. Got other baits as well with me, luncheon meat and corn. So if I'm really struggling, I might swap baits later, but I don't see why something that would take a piece of luncheon meat won't take a piece of pepperami, to be quite honest. Other than it's a slightly harder bait. Right folks, let's measure my sausage here, as it were. Some a bit smaller, some a bit bigger. Because we are going to be wrapping paste around it, so I don't want them ridiculously big. And I'm going to go through the skin part, so they're like a barrel. There we go. That is absolutely perfect. Little barbel bait that. Oily as hell. It'll release loads of attraction in the water. It's quite a firm paste, this. This paste ain't going to last long with the size of these hook baits, mate. Right folks, that's a massive big ball of paste on that pepperami. Obviously that's going to break off and stuff like that very quickly, either on the cast if I'm unlucky, or over about 15-20 minutes, creating a lot of scent and attraction. Right, let's get this first rod out. I'm going to stop yapping. That'll either catch me a barbel or a bloody big chub or a river carp. I don't think I'll get anything else on it. It's too big of a hook bait, but Going big or go home, innit, today, Nath?
Cheers, mate.
That's the plan. So we'll probably be going home rather than going big. Yeah, I come down this swim the other night, but it was just unfishable. It was way too windy. So, like I said to you before, conditions are absolutely perfect tonight for it. Watch this pace come off on the cast. I hope it doesn't. Right, sending it. It'll be all right for a first cast. So you're on a 3-ounce feeder, 3-ounce tip.
3-ounce tip.
What's the rod? Corum.
Yeah, corum all around it.
Cool. Nice, nice little rod, aren't they, then, for the river?
It's very versatile for the river, yeah. 'Cause you've got 3 tips, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 3 ounce. You can do like silver
bit of anything.
fishing and yeah, whatever. I have caught the barbel on this before as well. So.
There's loads of little minnows and dace and stuff in the margins.
Yeah.
Packed with them. Shows you that it's a healthy river. What do you think our chances are today, pal? Are you confident?
I'm actually.
Yeah, me too. I think conditions are right, and they've been coming out, like I said, so got to be in it to win it.
I think when the lights just dropping.
Yeah.
I think we'll be on it.
Do you think this swim's okay?
A lot of action over there, can you see?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of topping in that. It could be small fish, but sort of down this back edge where these trees are and bushes and stuff. Try and get a bit further over on my next cast, I think. It's fair old whack, that. That's why it's important to have these long barbel rods. Just a little drop back, folks, on the left hand rod. Well, I think I've earned myself a quick coffee. I'll try and keep an eye on these rods. I'll put my bait runners on. I'm going to make a quick coffee, chill out for 5 minutes, and then I'll have a recast, I think. Feel all like clammy after that walk. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an uncomfortable evening, folks. Could do with drying off a touch. Might pull these waders down. We'll have a recast. I've had a brew. I'm going to try and get it a bit further over to that other side, I think. Right, let's get this rod out. Oh. Paste come off though. Yeah, the paste. Yeah, something's got a free chunk of paste there. So just had another couple of little bumps towards that back edge. So that's where they are. They're sat on that back edge. Now it could be smaller fish. In fact, it more than likely is smaller fish, but at least we know where they hold up. And where there's smaller fish, the bigger fish are going to be as well. So low tide looks like it's at 9 o'clock. It's about 7 o'clock now. So there's a couple of hours still low tide. And I think when that tide starts coming back in is when they'll come on the feed. Might be in here, folks, on that back edge. Small if it is anything. Yeah, we've got a fish on. We've saved the blank, nearly, very nearly. Little chub, mate. I just had a feeling there'd be a chub down that back edge there near them little trees. Oh. We've saved the blank.
That's what we came.
You see, I told you folks, fish big baits and you're going to get big fish. That's what I said to you before. Oh dear.
Get it close to the camera.
Yeah, I mean, if it's here, it's like, and I try not to get my fingers on, it might make it at least
8 pounds.
8 ounce. Well,
Off the mark.
I'm counting it, pal.
Yeah.
It's not a blanking session, that.
I'd count it too.
Well folks, we're starting to lose the light now, so what our plan is fish into this swim until after dark, and then if we still haven't had any barbel in those twilight hours, or maybe the first hour into darkness, then we'll move swim and have a few casts on another swim, potentially a little bit further down the river. So I think we either try that swim that we said before, Nathan,
yeah,
or we could go even further down towards the car park end if you wanted to. Either or. It's like, it's kind of making your way back down to the car as well. I think it's eating a bait fish, yeah. So I've just watched a little jack pike come up and absolutely nail a little bait fish down here, and then swim back up into the so Nath's gonna have a couple of casts, but brought his lure rod. Oh, I knew I saw something. Oh, well, mate. Oh, we got it on camera as well, as if it must have dropped that little bait fish and gone, I want that. I want to eat that. Oh my god, what are the chances? I thought it was a little jack pike, but it's a perch.
There you go.
He's saved the blank, the lad.
Greedy little thing as well. It's gone for 7 centimetres. Oh.
Oh, have we got it? Oh mate, yes! Juggling. Oh, happy days. Worth bringing you lure on then, mate.
Oh, is this mate?
But that is absolutely mental, because it literally grabbed the bait fish, it moved off with it, and it dropped the bait fish and absolutely slammed that lure. Greedy. Keep it on, mate. It might have been that I saw before. Oh, it's a good fish, that, mate. Multi-species. Perfect. Hold it up, mate. Let's have a nosy in it. Look at this. Worth bringing your lure rod out tonight, mate.
It is, mate.
Something's had a big chunk out of this one at some point in its life. It's got some lovely colours on it.
Yeah, they're really nice, these river fish. It's the yellow, isn't it?
I think you just beat my PB messing about with your lure rod on a feeder session.
Quality.
Beauty. Come chase some of them little bait fish. Oh, that's like a rocket. Well, the head torch is on and we are ready for the twilight hours. Well folks, I've just seen something absolutely huge crash right in this back channel. It could have been a pike, it could have been a carp. It's really big. My little glow sticks fully activated. So this swim has been pretty unproductive. I keep getting indications, don't I, on the
Yeah, every now and then. It's quite frequent as well, aren't they?
on the lights, yeah, and they're half decent indications, but they're a small chub. I'm pretty sure they're a small chub. And we've fished well into dark here. It's coming up to 9:30 now. So I think we'll give it another 10 minutes and move down to the next swim. We're going to fish one more swim tonight, that's it. I think when we get there, recast a couple of times in quick succession, get some bait in the swim, and just stick it out in that swim until we feel like calling it a night. But yeah, quite a tough session so far. Obviously we've both saved the blank, which is happy days. So it's not been a complete disaster. And look, you can't come out on the ribble on the free stretch and catch a barbel every time you come out. You can't do it. It's just not how it goes. And the people that do it, they know the river inside and out. They know where the fish will be at what times. Obviously the ribble's like a 45-ish minute drive for me, so I've got to set like specific days and evenings to come.
I'll do.
Well folks, we're about 20 minutes off midnight and it has been quite an uneventful trip, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah.
I mean, we've managed a few fish between us, so it's not been an utter disaster. We were talking about it earlier, and we think the next time that we try it, or definitely the next time that I try it, I'm going to fish a semi-fixed running rig, probably one of the Corum ones, and I'll fish a pretty durable hook bait. I'll probably try Pepper Army again, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with the hook bait that I'm using. And I'll just use the lead, and what I'll do is I'll ping 8mm halibut pellets over the top of it periodically, or just down river and let them wash over the top of it. Everybody seems really quiet. The river's not easy at the minute by any stretch of the imagination. It's low and slow, and the barbel just don't like that slow moving unoxygenated water. So not ideal conditions, but look, you've got to be in it to win it, and we've got to give it a go, haven't we?
Definitely.
So worth doing, and we're going to try one last swim, but if we don't catch anything in that swim, I just want to say thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next Westies Angling. Don't forget to check out Nath's channel, again, link in the description. Right, see you in the next Westies Angling, folks.